Hello YouTube and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to continue our exploration of mtgdex.net, and today we're going to be playing some green-red madness. In the pre-modern metagame, the blue-green version of madness is more popular, and I think there's some green-white versions of this deck as well. So I thought it would be interesting to explore this green-red version here. And so we'll break down the deck real quick here. One thing I noticed about this particular deck is it's got 61 cards, which for me, as kind of a Magic purist, I guess, that bugs me. But, you know, this person that piloted this deck and somewhere, maybe Spain or whatever, did well in a tournament with it as is. So, and given the fact that our directive on this this series, if you want to call it that, is to explore the format as it is. So we're going to run the deck as is with 61 cards, even though that I'm not a huge fan of that. You do see 61 card decks from time to time. I'm just not a big fan of it. If I had designed this deck, I would have made that last hard cut, whatever it might be. But that being said, we're just going to do it as is. So to get started on this, we've got 22 lands, including 7 fetch lands, 3 Bloodstained Mires and 4 Wooded Foothills. We have 6 mountains and 5 forests for our basics, and then we have 4 copies of Wasteland. So pretty normal, solid mana base there. On the 1-drop slot, we do have 4 copies of Basking Rootwalla. Of course, in the Madness archetype, this is a staple 1/1 because we can play this for 0 mana if we discard it, which we'll be doing a lot of that in our Madness deck. And of course, it has an activation where it can become a 3/3 if you pay 2. You can only do that once per turn, so that's why its max is 3/3. But 1 mana 3/3 for 0 with a little mana investment, yeah, pretty good. There's 1 copy of Rites of Initiation. This is a 1 mana instant that just says discard any number of cards at random. Creatures you control get +1/+0 until end of turn for each card discarded this way. So, depending on the board state, let's say we have 3, maybe 4 creatures out there, and this might be the Christmas Land version, but if we have a number of creatures, 2, 3, whatever, 2 to 4, and we've got a few cards in our hand, we can just go to combat, swing in, see how they line up the blocks, and then do this as kind of a surprise play to pump up the team. And the discarded cards, of course, can discard us into stuff like Fiery Temper to kill a potential block or whatever. So anyway, there's just 1 copy of that, but I think it's an interesting include for a kind of a go wide buff, if you will. There's 4 copies of Lightning Bolt, so we got solid removal at the 1-drop slot. There's 2 copies of Chris Mage. It's a 1 mana 1/1. Probably the long distant cousin of the Grim Lavamancer, maybe? I don't know. This is a human spell shaper. Has an activated ability to pay a red and tap it to discard a card, so it is a discard outlet too. And it deals 1 damage to any target. So that's kind of nice because this could be the last few points of the game. This could be just done to pick off a creature, or even just ping the opponent just to discard a card to get a Madness trigger. So 2 copies of that. There's 2 copies of Firestorm. This is an older card, as most of these cards are. It's pre-modern after all. But I want to say this was on the banned list at one point for maybe Legacy or Vintage. Pretty good card. I believe the paper price of this has spiked lately. But it's a 1 mana instant that says as an additional cost to cast a spell, discard X cards. Firestorm deals X damage to each of X targets. So this does 2 things for us. One is it triggers Madness because you can discard cards, and we can trigger Madness however we need to in that situation. And you can target the damage to whatever creature. So it's not like just a clean sweeper that sweeps the board up. You can actually just direct it to their team and kill their creatures. So 2 copies of that. There's 3 copies of Sonic Burst, which is an interesting card because it's a 2 mana instant that deals 4 damage to any target, and the so-called downside is, as an additional cost to cast a spell, discard a card at random. Again, in our deck, it's not really a downside because, yeah, we could discard something at random, but it's going to trigger a madness, and so this actually is a kind of an upside with this spell. So that's why this was included. There's 3 copies of Devastating Dreams. I kind of like this card in the deck because it seems to present attacking on a different angle. So it does do the sweeping thing, but also can blow up lands, which in a game of Magic can be crippling depending on the board state. So it's a 2-mana sorcery, 2 red, and as an additional cost to cast a spell, discard X cards at random. Again, we're discarding cards all over the place. We're triggering madness all over the place. And then it says each player sacrifices X lands of their choice, and Devastating Dreams deals X damage to each creature. So, depending on the board state, this could be really, really strong. Just it's kind of a situational card. There is 1 copy of Sylvan Library, which is interesting. If we get this out on the battlefield, it's just going to help us find our stuff sooner. So I'd like to see 1 copy of that. And we do have some fetch lands to kind of sweep up the trash if we don't want to get kind of brainstorm locked or whatever you want to call it on Sylvan Library. So that's kind of nice to see there. 4 copies of Wild Mongrel. This, of course, is another huge staple of the Madness decks. Because it has an activated ability to just discard a card, another discard outlet, where you can trigger madness on other things. Discard a Fiery Temper, discard a Basking Root Wallet, whatever it might be. This thing gets pumped up till the end of the turn. It gets +1/+1, becomes color of your choice until the end of the turn. I don't know how relevant that text is, but yeah, you never know. And so that's just great. It combines 2 different things where it triggers madness. It's a discard outlet, and it gets a buff too. There's 2 copies of Squee, Goblin Nabob. Now, of course, in a pinch, this card can actually be played as a 3-mana 1/1, but really the reason it's in the deck is just because it's a free discard. So it is a 3-mana 1/1 legendary creature goblin, but if you're playing this as a 3-mana 1/1 as a creature on the battlefield to try to attack or block, you're probably losing that game. So what we want to do with this card is, and this is in a lot of different decks if you've noticed, but it's a free discard on any of these discard outlets. We discard this, it's free, we're going to get it back. So at the beginning of your upkeep, you may return this card from your graveyard to your hand. So that's a great thing to see. There's 2 copies of that. 4 copies of Fiery Temper, as I mentioned earlier. We're going to be most likely, with all the discard outlets and all the madness going on, we'll be paying 1 red to deal 3 damage to any target. Very rarely will we pay full retail value for this, so we're looking to make this into an extra 4 copies of Lightning Bolt, and it's an instant, which is great. 2 copies of Terravor, which is kind of another little interesting creature in the deck. This is a loaded to the ground aggro / mid-rangey deck. It's not really super aggro, it's more of a mid-range deck shell, but it's got a little bit of elements of both. Like last week we played the mono black, which was kind of a mid-range control spectrum. This is more of mid-range aggro part of the spectrum. I always think it's interesting how decks can kind of traverse different parts of the spectrum. But anyway, on the Terravor, the cool thing about this is it can be a beefy big target later in the game, and it's got trample, which is really good. And with our 7 fetch lands and 4 wastelands, we're gonna have lands in the graveyard to pump this up. So, and even with this card blowing up the opponent's lands, and our lands too, but this just adds that many more lands to the graveyard. So I think it's cool. We have a couple of big heavy hitters later in the game to be difficult for the opponent to deal with. We do have some other heavy hitters over here we'll talk about in a minute. There's 1 copy of Anger, so this is also a free discard. Again, similar to Squee, it's not a 4-mana 2/2 with haste. Whatever, that's not really what we're looking to do. This is a free discard as well, because if we discard this, and then as long as this card is in our graveyard and we control a mountain, which is probably going to be most of the time, creatures you control have haste. So that can really get the aggro plan into high gear to have this in the graveyard, have our creature swinging in. At the top end, we do have a couple more heavy hitters here. One of them being the Arrogant Worm. It's a 5-mana 4/4 with trample also. But of course, we're going to want to play the discounted cost and play this for 3. So we can get a 3 mana 4/4 trample, maybe with haste even. So that's what we're looking to do here with Arrogant Worm. So again, this is can be discarded as normal, but it can also be discarded if you have mana up to trigger Madness and put it on the battlefield cheaper. That's what we're looking to do. Finally, we have 2 copies of Roar of the Worm. Again, this is kind of a sort of another free discard because we don't really want to pay 7 mana for the 6/6 Worm creature token. I mean, obviously you'll do it if you have to, but we're really looking to discard this card to one of our mini Madness triggers that we have on all kinds of cards throughout the deck, and hopefully putting it in the graveyard, and then on a subsequent turn being able to, or even on the same turn depending on the board state, but being able to pay 4 mana to put a 6/6 on the battlefield and get that discount again. So trying to abuse the Madness mechanic and get discounts on everything, and so our stuff's cheaper, and run the opponent over. In the sideboard, we have 2 copies of Tormod's Crypt for Graveyard Hate. We have 2 copies of Zurin Orb. You know, if we're facing down Burn or something like that, we can bring these in to sack lands to gain 2 mana. Incidentally, it does pump up the Terror as well. So, and it's mostly to stay alive if you're getting burned out too fast. 3 copies of Pyroblast to fight against blue decks. There's 3 copies of Naturalize to destroy any problematic artifacts or enchantments that come along, because there's not really anything to do that in the main deck, but we do have these in the sideboard to help with that if we need to. There's 3 copies of Black Vice. You know, just there could be situations where maybe, you know, in this format, there's a lot of decks that are control decks that try to lock you out, and prison style decks. So if we bring these in and we're like kind of stalled out and not able to do anything, we can at least, or actually no, I'm thinking of this in the wrong way. We want the opponent to have a handful of cards, which for most control decks they will be drawing cards, they will have cards in their hand. So I think this is just a hedge against control decks. I was thinking of this on the other side of the field because I see this card a lot played against me. We most likely will have an empty hand or close to it. I don't think that an opposing Black Vice is as strong against this deck because of the way it can discard cards, but for us to put it on the battlefield for the opponent, because this only affects the opponent, for the control shells, this would be a good sideboard bring in. Talked about the Naturalize, and there's finally 2 copies of Compost. It's a 2 mana enchantment that just says whenever a black card is put into an opponent's graveyard from anywhere, you may draw a card. So just mostly against a black deck, usually, you know, mono black preferably. I could even see it probably being good against like Psychotog, since they, you know, have black cards that they would be putting in the graveyard, discarding. But anyway, we'll look for opportunities to bring that in as well. And so that's the deck, and I'm looking forward to getting this started. So let's jump into the games. All right, let's get match 1 underway here. We have not much going on here. Probably gonna have to mull this. This is much better. We'll keep. It's not super clear what to put back. Probably the Terravor, so. And we'll just start on Woodland Foothills Pass. Limber Elf, okay. Gonna go ahead and kill that. All right. Okay, let's see here. We could Sonic Burst the Wall of Blossoms and potentially discard. Either card with discards is going to be fine, so I think we'll do that. And we'll go ahead and shoot them in the face with Fiery Temper. Got to do this first. And somehow I blew that. Huh. Okay. Well, that's unfortunate. I didn't crack my fetch land first. Damn it. Okay. That's unfortunate. Okay. That's really frustrating. But, okay. First time with the deck, and even though I've played a lot of Magic Online, I should have known that you got to crack your fetch land first. That was just a straight up mistake. Opponent's got Tangle Wire. Not a lot we can do about that. Except for tap all our stuff. And play a Wasteland. I don't know if we want to blow up one of their lands right now. It's tempting. But I don't think we need to right away, so we'll just wait, see what's going on. Except the deck's playing, or the opponent's playing Madness also. All right. Okay, we got our own Basking Root Walla. That on the battlefield. I don't think they're blocking, but and then they're gonna have 2 counters on that. They'll have to tap 2 things, so I think we'll go ahead and waste their probably the Yavimaya Coast. Actually, they're both pain lands, so we'll just do that. Alright, let's see what they got here. Oh, that's right, they can tap that, so that's fine. I just still think it was the right thing to do to kill their land there. And their creature, okay. They must have another blocker. Alright. Actually, you know what? I think that if I pump this up, I still have to tap down 2 things. Okay, we'll just do it like that. If we get a land, Not screwing it up this time. Try to keep the pressure on here. Opponent's got no blocks. Okay. They just take it. They're down to 5. Let's see what they got here. Okay. Let's see here. We'll go ahead and swing in. They can pump up their basking root walla. We can do the same thing. If they trade, that's fine. And I can discard the squee. I can also discard the arrogant worm and pay. It just depends on how they block. So. Yeah, I was gonna say if he's gonna block there, then okay. Okay. Sure. Then we'll trade. That's fine. No problem. All right. They got 2 life left. Let's see if they can pull it out. Okay, well, they got chump blockers, so there's that. This has trample, though, so... Okay. Alright, we're just going to save the mountain in our hand because we don't need it on the battlefield right now. If we need to discard it to pump up the wild mongrel, I think it's better off in our hand right now. When it's low on resources, they got 6 cards in hand. They've been struggling on lands. I think they're going to pack it in here, but for game 1, but you never know. Opponent's thinking through their turn here. I'm not sure what they could have to get out of this. I'm not as familiar with the blue-green madness deck, so... Oh, okay. Well, that's not good. May not be enough, but... Oh, no. That's the worst possible thing it could be. Okay. Well, that's absolutely terrible. So they'll gain 7 life. Wow, that's so unbelievably bad. I think that wins the game for them. Surprisingly, I didn't expect it to come down to that, but wow, I don't think we can do anything about that. Like, there's nothing we can do. So, wow, unexpected. I remember this card. I've seen it, but you know, I'm still getting used to the format. Playing the actual games is a lot different than theory crafting, that's for sure. If this takes damage, it doesn't die. Okay. Well, oh my gosh. Okay. All right. I'm pretty sure we're probably unexpectedly done for here. Wow, I can't believe how fast this game turned around. One natural order into the Phantom Nishoba and just GG's. Oh my god, is there anything I can do here? I kind of don't think that there is. Yeah, I think we're just done. Unfortunately, I mean, I hate to say that, but I think this game's just over. Wow, I thought we had it. I thought we were there. Okay. Okay. Opponent's not sure what to decide here. Hopefully the Massacre will die so that when we play our Root Wallet, it doesn't get picked off. It doesn't have any mana to do it anyways. Okay. Well, we got to start blocking, that's for sure. Even though it has trample, we got to start taking counters off of it. Try to soak up some of the trample. It only loses one counter, but kind of have to do that. The opponent has 4 cards in hand, so we'll have to see if they have some type of interaction here. I mean, we're dead on the crackback, so but we got to keep attacking. Alright, if they have a removal spell, they win. Alright, well, Natural Order into Neshoba was a big deal there. Don't think we have anything against that, unfortunately, so we're going to be on the play. We have stuff that can kill the Masticore, so I don't think I need to bring these in. So I think we're just going to run it back. Yeah, I mean, Natural Order being one of those very powerful cards printed a long time ago for green, and even though Premodern doesn't have the premier creatures that they do nowadays in like Modern or any other current day formats that include the modern day cards, as it were, you know, you got Atraxes and Emeralds and stuff. But as far as Premodern goes, that Phantom Neshoba, obviously one of the better creatures. I've seen it looking through deck lists and kind of understood how it worked just based on another card from back in the day. I don't remember Phantom Neshoba from back in the day, but I do remember another card that was similar. I can't remember what it was called, but definitely powerful. I mean, they did that, and they came back and won. We had them beaten, but... Okay, so we'll keep this. Opponent's got the elf. And I'm just going to go ahead and kill it. Alright, so we just need lands right now. Survival of the fittest, okay. I guess that would be a reason to bring in Naturalize. Okay, so unfortunately we didn't draw a land, so I'm just gonna have to go in and get in for some damage. Yep, just need lands right now, preferably a mountain. Opponent's going to use the Survival of the Fittest to play a Basking Rootwalla and go get our creature card. They get another Basking Rootwalla, makes sense. They can use it again, play the second Basking Rootwalla. Yep, seems good. That's why this card is so powerful. It's a creature toolbox deck dream. We've got a Gaia's Cradle. They can do it again. Discarding the Squee. Pretty good. Well, I'd like to see one of our sweepers. We do have this. Oh, it's a green mana. Oh, it's too bad. Well, yeah, that's unfortunate for sure. I'm going to try to get the most out of my mana here. They're not going to block. I think we're going to kill... He's got the Gaia's Cradle. I guess we'll just kill the Birds of Paradise. It's basking root wall at tribal here. So we will bring in the naturalizes just to kill that enchantment because it's very powerful and it's doing a lot of things right now. This guy's cradle really accelerates it. You just go get a bunch of creatures and we're going to be in a lot of trouble unless we get a mountain and we can run this sweeper here because wall of roots. Okay, looks pretty good. Tangle wire. Okay, that's probably gonna be curtains, I think. I don't think there's anything we can do about it right now, unfortunately. I mean, that might be the end of the game there. There's our land that we needed really bad. This is a sorcery, so yeah, we're in a lot of trouble. They can just tap their lands and then attack us. Okay. I don't know if this Devastating Dreams is going to be too late or if it's going to help us, but if we discard, depends on how many lands he has untapped, if he can pump up the root wallas. But if we do it for 2, yeah, I don't know. We'll just have to see. It could get us out of a bad spot, but it's just not clear right now. And they're still going to have their mana and the survival, so they're just going to be able to refuel. So I just don't know that we're going to get anywhere really with it like that. It's good for me to play against these decks, though. Even though I've played a lot of games, it's a vast format. There's a lot to learn. And part of this exploring process is learning these decks that the opponents are playing. And it's going to take me a while. But I'm very invested in the format, and I really like it a lot, so I'll be doing this for a while. Okay, Tradewind Rider. Okay. Seems very bad for me. We will be able to clear the board except for the Tradewind Rider and the 2 walls, so we can kill 3 creatures with the Devastating Dreams. But that's still kind of a desperation move, and then no, never mind. We still have to untap. We still have to tap 3 things. Let's see here. If we draw a land, we can still hit these 3 for 1. I don't know if that's gonna matter that much. Probably just done for, I'm sure. It's not a land. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we're just dead, actually. I think I'm just going to scoop it up. There's just nothing we can do, unfortunately. Alright, we'll be on to match 2. Okay, match 2. Keep this. Match 1, we had everything going for us, and then we had to watch the world burn in front of our eyes. It's pretty painful, I have to say. Okay. Alright, we kind of need a madness, a discard outlet right now to get these arrogant worms onto the battlefield. Opponent's playing some type of permission. Get in for 1 here, play the Wild Mongrel, and have Lightning Bolt up. This may get countered, but... Yep. Alright. Back to you. Drago. It's not really a very good draw, so we're just going to go to combat. Opponent's probably seen enough of this. Well, maybe not. Surprised they haven't killed it yet, but they must be thinking about that right now. Should I plowshare it? They're going to impulse and look for the Swords to Plowshares. I could use this right now to pump up my creature, but I want to be able to profit from using this. Meaning, have another land available, cast this, discard an Arrogant Worm, play it, that kind of thing. It's a 12, plenty of life for the control deck. Okay. Well. Okay, the land is good. Combat. If I spend these 2 cards to get basically 1 card countered. Don't know that it's... I mean, yeah, you know what? I think I'm just going to keep pumping this up and force them to deal with it, because if we play any spell into 4 open mana, it's just going to get counterspelled. Just straight up. So we'll let them bleed a little bit, and they can decide when they want to actually kill this Basking Rootwalla. But playing into 4 open mana just doesn't feel like the right move there. Factor Fiction, okay. Oh boy. Not really sure what to give them here. It's probably just separate the lands. Yeah. So they took the impulse and the land still. That makes sense. I imagine they'll play the land still now, or maybe impulse first and then play the land still. Unless they have something better to do. They do have 7 cards in hand, which is a lot to do, so. My guess is they're still looking for the Swords to Plowshare or whatever removal spell they have to get rid of my creature. And they don't play the land still, which means they have something better to do. Okay. I can hard cast these now too, so the choice here is to whether to try to play one now. I think I will, even if it forces their hand to counterspell. I think I am going to go ahead and try to get a worm down and still have a bolt up. So, I mean, if they have a counterspell, they'll counter the Arrogant Worm, I'm sure. But we're just trying to get as much damage as we can in. We still have this lightning bolt in our back pocket to hopefully finish the job here. But at this point, pumping up the Rootwalla invites the Swords to Plowshares, whereas maybe we can, let's see here, we will discard 1 card. Oh, I forget it, it's at random, but works out. That worked out in our favor just because we had, it was 3 out of 4 probability. But yeah, I forgot this is random. Never have cast that card before, it's first time. Okay, now this gets countered. This does get a small buff, +2, or +1, so it's a 2 power. And they could also have Wrath of God. Okay, so the mana leak, okay. No, they'll take their 2. And I could try to bolt right now, but I think I'm gonna wait for that. Okay, 7 cards in hand and 5 mana. Let's see what they can do. Impulse. We know they have a land still in their hand, or stand still in their hand, but they don't seem real interested in playing it, so they're obviously choosing a different path through the game. And they've impulsed, they found a land. Are they just going to pass here? I mean, at this point, like, they have 6 cards in hand. The land still is not as helpful, I guess, because even if we break the land still, they can draw 3 cards. They still have lots of cards in hand, so. But I'm not sure what their strategy is right now. Like, they have to kill this creature, and I'm surprised they haven't found something. Or if they're just kind of waiting. Okay, so Wrath of God. Alright. That's on their main turn. Okay, so sure. Alright, let's see what we can do. We will lightning bolt them. We probably could do it now, I think. I'd like to do it as the last points of damage. But if I do it now, it does turn these off, except for colorless mana. I think it's worth it. We could also draw a bolt right now as we untap here, so let's see what we got there. Nope. Okay. Don't think I need to play this forest. It can be discard fodder. I don't feel very good about this situation, even though they are at 2 life and we're a lightning bolt away from killing them. I was hoping we would draw it right there, but they can still, wiggle out of this, and maybe not. All those cards in their hand, they just didn't have an answer. That's very interesting. Okay, so what do we need to do here? I think Pyroblast is reasonable. I don't know if their graveyard is very important. Black Vice we talked about in the intro against control decks might be good. Let's see what we're taking out. Probably they don't have a lot of creatures. Let's see. Not real sure, frankly. Let's just take out one of these, one of these, one of these, and one of those. Maybe not. Hard to say. Rites of Initiation. Take that out. We'll give this a shot. I don't think we have enough. I don't think we have the luxury of bringing in Black Vice, so. All right, so on the sideboarding, we did end up bringing in 1 copy of Black Vice. We were able to afford it given the fact that the deck has 61 cards. So I made Black Vice the 61st card. Not sure what it'll do for us, but I mean, it's a 1-mana spell that can be painful for them because they are going to, have a lot of cards in hand being a control deck, so. When I had to mulligan to 5, that's definitely to our advantage. This Pyroblast we're going to try to save for a critical moment. I don't think I want to just counter, their first thing or whatever that they're. Depends. I mean, their first thing may very well be a counter spell, but it could be a cantrip, but I don't see any reason to counter like an impulse. But with 4 cards in hand, I don't know. Maybe it is a good play given that situation, because they're obviously, they mulligan to 5. They kind of are in a spot where they need to find their stuff. So maybe that's probably worth countering, I think. I'm not sure what they're going to name with that, but. Okay. Let's get this wild mongrel down and try to get down to Beat Town here. Another Meddling Mage, sure. I'm going to guess Lightning Bolt, but I don't know. I mean, they're probably not blocking the Wild Mongrel, so. And even, yeah, they're most likely not going to do that. What's the card they're most afraid of right now? That's what they'll be naming. Oh, Basking Rubala, that makes sense. That makes sense. Now they're plowsharing that. Sure. Opponent's down to 1 card in hand, so... I think, depending on what we draw here, we're probably gonna, yeah, waste the wastes and then kill the mage. Yeah, I think that's what we want to do here. They're low on resources. They only have 1 card in hand, so I think if we kind of play this game right now, we're advantaged. It's too bad that they killed our dog, because next turn we could have discarded and played the Arrogant Worm for 3, but... Okay, let's see what they got now. We have a slight advantage right now, but if we don't make use of it, it's not going to matter. Okay. Kind of need a good draw here. Something small. Oh, man. The Wastelands. Well, I mean, yeah, that's basically what we're going to do for right now. Makes sense. Okay, hopefully we can get some action here. That's action. Hopefully it doesn't get mana leaked, but here we are, so... Cool. Next turn we'll try to resolve the Arrogant Worm off the Madness trigger. And that would be great if we could. Then we can start, like I said, getting in for some damage here, hopefully. Fairy Conclave, okay? Alright. Devastating Dreams. It's not real good right here. So we're just going to go to combat. Attempting to do another card. But I'm not going to. Okay, let's go ahead and waste this Fairy Conclave. Ship it back to the opponent. Hopefully the pressure is going to be building up with them not being able to, you know, have much going on there, so... Fire Temper's really good to see right here. Okay, so let's go to combat. Yeah, they just didn't have anything. So we were going to be able to hit him for quite a bit, and plus a Fiery Temper, so good deal. All right, we'll be on to match 3 here shortly. Okay, we got match 3 here. We did have to wait a little while for a game, so those of you watching my content out there, join Premodern. This is a great format. If you're tired of the Wizards crap, this is where you want to be. I love Premodern, and I think we need more players. I've got a lot to learn still. That's why I'm just going to be grinding through games to just try to learn all I can. But so far, it's really a cool format. So I encourage you guys to play as well. Goblin Pile Driver, alright. Let's see what we got for that. That card can get out of hand real quickly, so I think I'm going to go ahead and kill it. I don't want to lose my Wild Mongrel. I could play that this turn, but I think it's better to just try to go ahead and kill this now, so... And we discarded the Devastating Dreams, which is okay. It's not good in this matchup anyway. I take that back. It could be good. The land destruction part isn't really good, but the sweeper could definitely be good. What does this do? Oh, they cycled that. Okay. All right. Let's go ahead and get our dog down. Pass turn. Goblin Matron goes to get something good, I'm sure. War Chief's pretty good. Okay. Okay. Now, there's certain things we can do here. One being Devastating Dreams X equals 2 blows up 2 of their lands. They can't play this on the next turn. We can have the Wild Mongrels survive and kind of set them back. And we still have lands to do our stuff. I kind of feel like I want to do that now, actually. Yeah, I mean, if I do this for 2, they have to lose 2 lands. We lose 2 lands, but we're ahead. So I think that's what I'm going to do here. Let's go ahead and discard the Roar of the Worm. Doesn't really matter what color we are. And then do this X is 2. If we discard 2 cards at random, it's possible that we lose. Actually, we lose both cards. Let's see here. Might be a little extreme. Let's just go ahead and go to combat. And I think, I mean, they're probably going to block, I would imagine. No, okay. So we'll just go this route instead. I think this is probably better anyway. I'm definitely anxious to get, you know, the Devastating Dreams to do something, but maybe next turn is better. We'll see. Of course, next turn we can pay 4 to get this 6/6 down. So I think that's, I think we're on the right path here. This might be more devastating at the right time, of course. So goblins have haste and they cost 1 less now. But we're still the beat down right now, so I think we're gonna just keep on. Oh, that's actually really good. Yeah. So we're still in the lead here, and we're going to play a 6/6. So that feels pretty good too. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Well, I'm glad we held off on the Devastating Dreams. So I do want to play the card, but it's got to be in the right. It's got to be the right moment to play that card. Okay. So I think we're pretty well suited to play against the goblins. We got a lot of removal, so we're just gonna push forward and see what happens. We could also just get beat down by them too. It's a very fast, powerful deck. If we don't have removal for a turn 1 lackey, you know, we could be in trouble there. So it just depends. If they hit their curve, they're going to be in good shape. We only have 1 land here, so we're going to have to mulligan this. This is much better. Probably get rid of... it's not the easiest pick in the world. Probably a fiery temper since we don't really have. Well, you know what? Maybe we just get rid of one of these. Okay. I want to have removal for them. Of course, this in this case, it's not going to work out in our favor. But I mean, if we have to block with this, we will. If they get rid of it, then we, like I said, we could be in trouble. So we'll see. Don't have any way to use the fiery temper, so I imagine this gets killed. Yeah, they attack us. Yeah, it seems good. Here comes the pain. Yep, seems great. Okay. Opponent's fetching up a siege gang commander or something like that, probably. So we might just be done for here. It's going to be hard to come back from this. Free War Chief into Matron. Pretty strong. Had the Pyrokinesis. Exiled another Goblin Matron. So they got the Gem Palm Incinerator. Okay. Oh boy. Kind of just in trouble right now, but we got to try to hang in there. So if we can live through one turn and be able to activate this Chris Mage. Okay, did I not click that? There we go. Which I would say is probably unlikely, but we'll see. They're going to cycle that and kill it. Yep. We need a land to do anything. We're kind of just getting near Scoopsville here. There's the ringleader. And we don't see a land. Ah, boy, that's unfortunate. At this point, I think killing the ringleader's better. Not ringleader, sorry, I mean Goblin War Chief. Just try to hope to fight another day. They can still hit us with the lackey and put this into play, but if I kill the lackey, they can still play this with the War Chief. So either way we go, they're still going to get to play this card and refill their hand. So what we really need to see is a Firestorm would be the best card. I don't know that we'll have that luck, but that's okay. And they fill their hand up with lots of goblins. Okay, Firestorm, where are you? We need you right now. And they've got, you know, backup troops. So I don't see us winning this game. There's the Fanatic. And that just doesn't do anything at all. So, okay. Alright, we'll be on the play. Don't know there's anything here that does much for us. By the time you get a Zern Orb in play, it's, you know, Zern Orb is better later in the game when you have lots of lands, but when you lose on turn 4, it just doesn't do very much. Okay, well, we can keep this. It's not great, but got no green mana. We do have a Devastating Dreams, which might save the day. We'll see. Too bad Bloodstained Mire can't fetch Forest. So we'll just go ahead and do this now. Get that marginal thinning going on. I imagine they're going to want to kill the Chris Mage because it kills Goblin Lackeys, so my guess is they'll... Yep, that'll do the trick. Okay. And there's where we get punished for not having our green mana. Okay. Yep. Oh my gosh, this is terrible. Well, I think I'm going to put the Wasteland in play and destroy it. And do this for 1 just to kill that. It's that important. And then we're going to have to discard a card at random. They sacrifice a land. We're a land ahead. Yeah. Okay. I was hoping this might have made it to the graveyard, but them's the breaks. We lost our other land, which is no bueno. Oh my gosh, just nothing but pain. Well, that probably lost us the game, not drawing a forest there. Very important. Or a removal spell. I don't see a way out of this now. Oh my gosh. I mean, when I say not a way out of this, there's a way out. We have the Firestorm is a card that can certainly get us out of a pinch. It's just we need to actually see it though. Goblin Ringleader, okay. Okay. Well, I think I said this before, but if you're playing this card, oh my gosh, it's a 2/2. It's just, you're losing the game, basically. I'm actually not even going to attack with it, so... Okay, opponent's rocking and rolling. Well, kind of don't know what to say right now. I mean, I guess there's maybe an argument for I should have mulliganed earlier. I just didn't realize that it was going to turn out like this, but, you know, that's probably what I should have done. Okay, well, we got to have the Firestorm now, like next turn, this draw, or the game ends. So, Firestorm or bust. Okay, well, that's good to see. Alright, well, they have no mana, so I can just do it for X is 2 and discard these 2 cards. Okay. Oh, no, never mind. It does not work that way. So if we pay this for 1 and discard 3 cards, we can do 3 damage to 3 targets. So 1, 2, 3. I mean, that keeps us alive for another turn. It's better than nothing. Yeah. I know it seems insane, but I mean, if we draw a forest, we can play this worm, and that might help us stabilize, so. So let's hope for that forest that should be, I would hope, coming up. In the meantime, we're just going to continue to get beat down. Of course, if we put the forest on the battlefield, it's going to get Rashad imported, I'm sure, so that's probably also not a way out. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Sure. Okay. I mean, we can play the 6/6, but we're still taking 3/6. Yep. All right. Match 4 it is. Okay. Match 4, we are 1-2, and I have to admit, I'm pretty disappointed. I mean, a lot of it's just, I mean, unfortunately, so problem here is that, you know, I've noticed a lot of times, like when I had the channel before, I'm sure I'll get some, you know, negative comments about not playing well, but it's hard to, you know, like I'm still learning the format, and I'm not trying to make any excuses, but you know, it's, yeah, I've made some mistakes, unfortunately. I try to not do that, but it's tough, and it's going to happen. I mean, I'll get better, but I don't play Magic every day. I'm trying to play more because I'm trying to produce content and so forth. And I feel like I'm just making a bunch of excuses. Okay, so Mox Diamond gets down here. Opponents, I'm trying to think what deck they might be on there. Could be Madness. Could be something else, not sure. Okay, so let's go ahead and get in. Sure. Okay, opponent's got no land there. That's interesting. Okay. So I don't really want to play the Goblin Nabob. But right now I don't have anything to discard it to. It could very easily die anyway, so definitely not an optimal play, but I didn't want to just not use my mana. Just going to Plowshare that, that's fine. Okay, still no lands from the opponent. Okay. Well, would love to play this, but I have no way to discard it, so we'll pass. Okay, this is turning out to be a strange game. Opponent has no lands, and we have no pressure. Oh my gosh. Wow. Okay, well that's unfortunate, but that's what we got. Opponent's got 6 cards in hand. Got all 3 colors, or if they're playing more colors, I'm not sure. Call of the Herd, sure. Oops, meant to click this. Okay. I can't tell if we're just hitting bad beats or what's going on here, but gotta get rid of that land there. We're drawing the half of our deck that's not the discard outlets, it's the payoffs. That's pretty good. Actually, that's very good. That's going to get them out of their situation. Oh my god. This is unbelievable. I just don't see any reason to play the Goblin, so yeah, and now they get their advantage. So yeah, it's just too bad. I mean, my god, how many turns went by with just no pressure from this deck at all? I mean, they were struggling on lands. We're supposed to be putting them away, and we just did nothing over here. Except to get a couple things plowshared, and that was really about all we did. Unfortunate, really. So they found what they wanted, paid 4 life extra. Yeah. Yep. Got the Armageddon. So go ahead and do some damage to them. Well, now I know what we're playing against. So there's that. Oh my gosh. And they should be able to get ahead of us with the library to find the lands they need. Maybe they were just sandbagging lands the whole time. That might have been true too. Okay, well that's as good as can be expected, so. Okay, so we are behind and we need a land pretty badly right here. That's not a land, okay. I mean, it's funny that we have a Terravore also. I'm sure that's what they're looking for. They drop one of those and that's going to be the end of the game. We won't be able to deal with a 15-15 Terravore on our end of the battlefield unless we can get ours down, but I don't see how that's possible with no forests anywhere in sight. And we'll have to make sure to bring in the naturalizes for this matchup. They have a lot of artifacts and enchantments. And try to play around the Armageddon a little more. It's the first time I played against this deck. I played it once in a practice match. Pretty cool deck. I really like it, but... Okay, there's a wasteland, so... Well, I'm going to go ahead and play this now because we have to get something going. I realize that they might be able to plowshare it, maybe have another Armageddon coming. I don't know, but they're going to want to put down their Terravore also, so they're, you know, they don't want to blow those lands up yet till they have this out, which they can play it as soon as they see it. And they're going to counter that. Okay, that's fine. It's better than getting it swords to plowshared. I'm still looking for that Terravore. If they drop it here, that'll end the game on the spot. The only way I could see out of that is to top deck a forest, take 15, then top deck another forest to play this to block. But that's a far stretch. I guess maybe they're Armageddoning again here, looks like. Nope, Cataclysm. Oh, is that the same thing? Oh, yeah. Okay. Alright, we have a lightning bolt. They're only at 7 life, so they obviously can't use the library to pay for anything right now. They're just going to have to work through the brainstorm lock or whatever situation. I mean, of course, they may just find the Terravore, and then that would be pretty good for them. Sphere of Resistance, okay. This deck is interesting because it plays a game of an inevitability. Like, eventually you're not going to be able to do anything, and they're going to have a big creature out there, and you're going to be locked out, and they're going to win. So, kind of a cool deck, not going to lie. We will play that deck at some point on the channel once we're done messing around exploring with things, but that's a tier deck, and we get to see why. As soon as we see that Terravore, then we'll realize that, yeah, that's pretty good too. And we're just going to be dead. Our window of opportunity to like draw a bunch of lands in a row is pretty much past, so I mean, the only thing we can hope for now is a land and then a couple lightning bolts. That's really all we can do. So take damage. That's a land. That's good. Okay. That is a land. It's too bad we can't play this, right? Yeah, let's get our mongrel down, and we gotta pay 1 extra, so we can't exactly discard the fire temper yet, but maybe next turn if this lives we can. Depends on what they have. Yeah, okay. All right. Okay, well they got us, so we'll try game 2 here. Let's see. I don't want to overdo the naturalizes. Don't think Black Vice really helps either. Tormod's Crypt could help. Zern Orb actually could also help. So we'll try those 3 spells. Don't think Pyroblast does much for us, so... And then what do we need to get rid of here? Got a Firestorm. Devastating Dreams doesn't seem like that's going to do very much in this matchup. But so I think I'll just take those out, and it won't let me play with 60 cards, so I have to play with 61 cards. Okay, well, guess we'll just bring that back in. Okay, be on the play here, and the more you play, the more familiar you're going to get with the decks that you're playing against. And I still have a long ways to go. Even playing, like I said, over 100 games in the tournament practice still doesn't seem like it was enough. All right, so we're going to keep this. Opponent mulligans to 5. Opponent mulligans to 4. Not sure if you can hear my printer going in the background, but I tried to set my mic to noise suppression, but I'm not sure if that's audible or not. Opponent mulling to 4 and has decisions to make here. We have as good of a hand as can be expected here. It's a good curve, so that bodes well for us, but we'll see if they're going to be able to play it out or not. If he's trying to think about mulling to 3, I would just tell him to not do it. That's okay. I'm going to be a little more conservative about the lands this game, of course, to not expose them to the... Armageddon. Okay. Had a feeling that was going to happen. Rith's Grove. Okay. Swords to Plowshares. Nope. Circle of Protection red. Okay. Okay, so... I mean, this Root Walla can go the distance, maybe. Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, I was gonna say it's gonna be tough for them. I was gonna waste their land there, so. Maybe we want another Naturalize and take out. Not real sure. Take out one Sonic Burst. Try it like that. Alright, well they're on the play, so that's definitely an advantage for them. We got a playable hand, so that's good. These wooded foothills will have to get... I don't want to get Forest Forest. I'm going to have to get Forest Mountain and not play this until later, so there's that. But I still don't think this is a mulligan hand, that's for sure. Okay, that helps us know what to get. Opponent be ramping. All right. I'm going to go ahead and bolt them now just to get a little bit of points of damage in. Okay. So there's a Root Walla. It's good to see. Go ahead and get that down and pass the turn. It's a Terravor. Okay. Naturalize, pretty good. I kind of feel like we need to just be aggressive and attack. I don't think he's going to block, so we could also play our own Terravor too, which is appealing for sure. Yeah, let's go ahead and attack and see how he reacts, because if I can kill his Terravor, I would prefer that, but I don't think that's what he's going to do, so... Yeah, okay, that's fine. Of course, mine might get Swords to Plowshare, but, you know, them's the breaks. Okay. So they're being conservative on their lands, which tells me they probably have the Armageddon in hand. So we're going to have to be kind of careful here. I think I'm still going to attack. Let's see if he's going to respond or not. Well, I tried. Okay. Opponent's at 9. I didn't play a land that turn, but that's because I'm scared of the Armageddon, so... Opponent's got Rith's Grove. Bouncing back the island. Armageddon. Cataclysm. Okay. So we'll choose the Terravore and the Forest. Okay. Kind of feel like we're forcing a block here almost. Do I waste this land? Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and see if I can get in there, because this is a lethal attack. I mean, he has to block. If he has Swords to Plowshares, I'm going to be very sorry. Okay. He still has 2 mana to my 1, but we still have lands, which is good. Yeah, I think I'm going to go ahead and do that, so... Alright, let's see what they got here. Ooh, that's really good. Okay, so we'll pass. Might just destroy this circle of protection and... just depends. Target player gains 7 life. Wow. That's really good. Oh my god. That's a game-changing play. Wow. Never seen this card before. Huh. Okay. Yeah, that's fantastic. Well, I don't know if naturalizing now is the right play, so we'll see if what else we can find here. That's actually very good. Okay. All right, let's go to combat. I don't think that the color's going to matter on the creature, so... Not sure if I should get in for another point of damage. I think I'll wait. The Christmas... Okay. Alright, well then I guess the Arrogant Worm must have got there. I was going to say that the Chris Mage might actually play a role. I was going to discard this to pump up some more damage, but this sticking around might actually have done something. So, especially with the Naturalized, to maybe get rid of this. Okay, well that brings us to match 5. Let's try to get to a above 500 record here if we can. All right, let's get on to match 5 here. And we will be on the draw. Gonna try to finish with a winning record if we can here. So, all right, let's see. Not the greatest hand, but we're on the draw and we do have removal, which is important, and we do have a creature to play. So I think we're gonna keep this. I could see an argument for mulliganing this, but I'm hoping we're gonna be okay here. Looks like we might be getting duressed. Nope. Opponent's on a Jackal Pup. Okay, this might just be mono red. Okay, so question is whether to bolt the pup or play the Chris Mage. I kind of feel like the Chris Mage is better, so we'll start on that. Guess is they'll either kill this or just play another creature to keep the aggro curve going. Oh, yeah. Okay. Okay. Well, unfortunately... Yeah, I mean, we kind of have to kill the Grim Lavamancer. I'm going to discard the Roar of the Worm so we can get a discount on that. Kill this Grim Lavamancer. Before he can do anything. And pass back. And hopefully start drawing some lands. That's the only thing that's dicey about keeping a 2-land hand. I mean, even on the draw, sometimes we're not quite there yet. Hopefully we'll get a land here, preferably a mountain. Oh my gosh. That's terrible. So we're down to 10. That definitely hurts. Okay. Alright, well that's not the worst thing in the world. Land would have been better though. Man, that's just too bad. Okay, well we'll just discard the Root Wall and play it for free, I guess. And then pass because we don't have any lands, so. But we got a couple creatures out there, so at least we're doing something. One's got 4 lands and 3 cards in hand. Seal of Fire is going to kill the Root Wall, imagine. Okay. Just need lands. Oh my gosh. Wow. See, if we had lands, we could have Bolt Up and not get smacked by this. Oh my gosh. It's terrible. Okay. Well, we're just about done. Oh, they had Fire Blast. Okay. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Don't think Zern Orb is worth it. I think we're just going to keep and try to win on the play. definitely a better hand than we had before, so we'll keep this. Save this fetch land to see if which color we might need depending on the situation. Okay. Alright, so we can play the mongrel, and if they seal a fire, we can get out of its range, so I think that's a pretty good play. It'd be kind of a waste for them to seal a fire with the mongrel, but never know. Barbarian ring. Well, that's a little different because they can do 5 damage, so might as well just let it go. Okay. Alright, we just don't have much going on here. Well, I can see a reason to bring in a naturalize. Okay, let's hopefully get some action here. Okay. Well, next turn we can hard cast the Arrogant Worm, so there's that. Wow, a lot of Jackal Pups. Okay. God. Yeah, sure. Just take 8. That's painful. We will be at 10. I'm not going to block this pup and get seal-fired, so... Okay. Not sure if we're going to be able to get out of this, but we'll see. Okay. Chris Mage is not bad. Yeah, we're gonna fight back here, so gonna hit them for 4 and then Sonic Burst this Jackal Pup. I should have played that first. That was a mistake. Yeah, that's too bad. That's what I meant to do. I got ahead of myself there. Already had planned on doing that, but oops. Hope that didn't cost me the game, but it's kind of important. Because I meant to... Yeah, God, that was a punt. I meant to play this first, and then... Sonic Burst, so that the random would be this, and then this I can get back every turn and discard to Chris Mage, so that was just a huge mistake. Opponent seal-fired me, so I'm probably dead here if they have Fire Blast. Yeah, it looks that way. That's unfortunate to lose to 2 fire blasts like that. Golly. Yeah. Lava Dart, sack a mountain. This is not a mountain, so he must have something else to finish me off. Well, that's a pretty disappointing way to lose there at the end. And I mean, boy, just it. So, okay, this was a disappointing deck just all the way around. I really, when I looked at this deck, I thought that it would be pretty strong. In practice, don't think it was that strong. 2-3 is not a very good record. As a matter of fact, it's really bad. And that's what we were, 2-3, which is terrible. So I'm pretty disappointed. I really thought there would be more fiery tempers going on and value things happening. But this deck just struggled. Now, I'm always willing to accept my own deficiencies as a player and the mistakes I make. I totally own those, of course. But even that aside, I don't know if any of my blunders cost me a game. Maybe it did. I'll have to review the games again, but they certainly didn't help, that's for sure. I'm still learning the format, but this deck was disappointing. I don't know how else to describe it. It just seemed like it would be better than it is. So yeah, unfortunately, this deck not very good. So I would recommend the Blue-Green Madness, like the deck that we've played in match 1. That seemed like it was better. This deck, unfortunately, just wasn't very good. So, but it's a learning experience, and we're going to continue to grind decks every week and bring new decks every week. That's the plan. I'm going to get better as a player because I'm going to become more familiar with the format. The more I read about Premodern and like on Reddit and stuff, I really stay in tune with it. Watch some videos and podcasts and so forth. I love the format, and it's my kind of format, so I'm going to be sticking around for a while, and I'll be playing these videos for a while, and I'll just have to take the heat. You guys, I'll just take the heat. Yeah, I make mistakes. It happens. But I think that over time, I'm hoping that I will get to the point that, like I said, on Reddit and the podcasts I listen to, what I'm hearing is that Premodern is very much a format that rewards good piloting and knowledge of the format. So for me, in general, I feel like I'm a pretty good pilot when I'm locked in. Getting back to broadcasting and talking about my plays is a little bit different, takes a little bit getting used to, so that I'm still kind of shaking off the rust on that part of it. But I think my piloting skills will come around and be okay. One of the problems is that I have a lot of good fundamentals of Magic because I've played so much Magic for so long, but it still can be difficult when you're not familiar with a deck and you haven't played a deck 100 times, on one deck, or 300 times with one deck. That's how you develop mastery of a deck. I'm not mastered any of these Premodern decks. I'm playing for variety and for exploration of the format and to learn. Eventually, these videos at some point down the road will get settled into more like probably, I don't know. I don't want to box myself in. I'm just going to see how it goes. But for right now, we're just exploring and learning. And there's going to be mistakes made, unfortunately. So that's just part of the game. But we're just going to keep pushing forward. And the more that I learn, just the little things here and there, the recognition of a deck quickly to know what's going on. Meddling Mage is a card in this format, so obviously that's another reason to know the meta well and to be able to tell what the deck you're playing against is, what their best cards are, what you need to name, that kind of thing. Cabal Therapy is a card, again, that with format knowledge, you're going to benefit using that card as well. So there's a lot to be said for that. I feel pretty confident that we'll be all right. It's just going to take some time, so honestly. But anyway, that being said, this deck unfortunately was disappointing. I don't know how else to put that. There's just no way to sugarcoat it. Deck was very disappointing to me, but it is what it is. And those were the games. I hope you guys enjoyed them, and I hope you guys will be back next time. We're just going to keep bringing out decks. I've got a lot of them to go through. mtgdecks.net is a vast site. There's a lot there, and I want to explore it, even if I have to, some bumps and bruises along the way as I, fumble my way through the format and try to get mastery of decks and mastery of the format and get my skills, keep my skills sharpened, my piloting skills sharpened. You got to play a lot. You got to play a lot to do that. I've spent several years playing mostly draft, and I've got a lot better at draft. But now that I'm back on the constructed side of things, I'm very excited. This is a really cool format, and I'm looking forward to continuing to play it. And so hopefully you guys will be along for the ride. I know you guys want to see more. It's very interesting to explore these formats, and it's a vast format. It's a closed card pool, but a vast format. So there's a lot more to be learned. And so we're going to be continuing on that journey. So I hope you guys will join me with that. And that'll be the end of this video. Thanks again for joining, and I'll see you guys on the next one.